While I was working in hospital, I came across a strange case of a 9-year-old girl. Her parents brought her into the hospital late one night. Their faces were pale, shaking. The girl walked between them, calm but empty, like something inside her was already gone. They said they'd been finding her dolls, hanging, each one tied with a belt or string around the neck. From doorknobs, ceiling fans, closet rods. Always silent. Always staring. They thought it was a sick prank. But then she snapped. She grabbed a kitchen knife and held it to her own throat. Said the voices told her to do it. That she didn't want to, but she had to listen. She never cried. Not once. During the psych evaluation, she whispered things. Said the voices came at night from the corners of her room. Said they laughed at her. Called her stupid. Told her the dolls had to die. Told her she was next. She said there were 3 of them. Shadow people. No eyes. Long fingers. They whispered until she couldn't sleep. She told the doctor that one of them stood over her bed every night. I wasn't part of her treatment, just security. But I heard enough. I saw the drawings. Black scribbles. Figures with twisted mouths and holes where the eyes should be. After her visit, I couldn't sleep. Not because of what she said, but because of what happened next. That night, the psych ward security camera glitched. Just for a few seconds. But when the feed came back, the girl was sitting straight up in her bed, smiling. Staring right at the camera. She hadn't moved in hours before that. And in the corner of the frame, something else moved. After that, I don't work nights anymore. I used to work in a small rural hospital. Most nights were quiet. But some nights stay with you forever. A woman came in with a heart attack. We worked on her for nearly 40 minutes. Nothing helped, no pulse, no breath, no response. The doctor confirmed her death. Time of death was recorded. We stepped back and the room went quiet. The only sound was the empty beeping of the monitors. Her family came in soon after. They gathered around her bed, tears streaming, whispering prayers. They begged her to come back. It was heartbreaking. And then it happened. She sat up. Slowly. Like she was waking from a deep sleep. She turned her head, looked directly at her daughter, and hugged her. Then she said, clearly and calmly, "Goodbye." She didn't seem confused or frightened. Just peaceful. Like she knew it was time. We all froze, no one moved. Time itself seemed to pause. We rushed back into the room. Ran another full code. But this time, she was truly gone. Colder. Still. No pulse. No breath. No explanation. This wasn't a spasm. Not a twitch. Not the kind of thing that sometimes happens after death. She hugged her daughter and she spoke. And then, she was gone. Some of the staff tried to explain it away. Maybe a delay in brain function, they said. But none of us really believed that. Not after seeing her eyes, awake, aware, full of peace. It felt like she came back, just to say goodbye. Afterward, the room felt heavier. Colder. Like something else had been there. Or stayed behind. The nurse who had been first into the room refused to go near that bed again for weeks. And even now, when I walk past that hallway alone, I feel it. Like someone is still there. Watching us. Not ready to leave just yet. I used to work at hospital as a security. Most nights were quiet. Routine. I'm a logical person. I don't scare easy. But there was one single floor in the main tower that felt wrong. Every time I stepped off the elevator, the air got heavier, like something pressing down on my chest. I'd feel it during the day. At night, it was worse. It always felt like I was being watched. Not by patients, not by staff, but by something unseen, something old. No matter how many times I walked that floor, I never got used to it. The silence was deeper there. Lights flickered more often. Equipment would beep at random, even in empty rooms. I mentioned it once to a nurse. She just nodded, said, "A lot of people die here." Later, I looked into it. That floor had the most recorded deaths in the entire hospital. Hundreds, maybe more. Some died in pain, others alone. Some never had their families come. After that, I started noticing more. Shadow-like movements just beyond the corners of my eyes. A cold spot near room 427 that never went away. Call lights turning on in empty rooms that had no patients. One night, I passed a room that was supposed to be empty. The door was open. Inside, someone stood by the window. I went in. The room was cold. The figure was gone. But on the bed, the sheets were wrinkled, like someone had just gotten up. I never told anyone after that. That floor wasn't haunted in the Hollywood sense. No slamming doors or loud screams. It was quieter, sadder, darker, like the souls who died there never left, and they wanted you to know they were still there. A nurse, Julia, told me what happened to her one night. She was doing her rounds during a quiet shift, walking past rooms that had just been cleaned and prepped. She stopped by one in particular. It looked normal, bed stripped, floor mopped, machines turned off. But something didn't feel right. It was the same room where, just days before, a patient had spent hours whispering in Latin. No one could understand what he was saying. He barely moved. Just lay there, eyes wide open, muttering to the ceiling. The staff said it gave them chills. Even when he died, his mouth still twitched like he was trying to finish whatever prayer or curse he had started. Julia said, as she passed the now in that empty room, she heard something. Breathing. Slow. Heavy. Too deep to be a machine. Too real to ignore. She stopped. Listened. The sound didn't stop. It got louder. Like something was in the corner of the room, hidden just out of sight. She stepped closer and peeked in. The bed was empty. But the monitor, supposed to be off, was on. And it was picking up a pulse. Not a fast one. Not panicked. Just steady. As if someone was lying there. Alive. But the room was empty. She backed away, heart racing. She didn't report it. She just walked away and told the next shift not to assign that room. People say it's just hypoactive delirium. Just medical symptoms. Hallucinations. Confusion. But when the air goes cold and the machines come back on by themselves. When even the families bring priests in without asking questions. You start to wonder if someone or something is still in that room. Breathing. I used to work at St. Bart's Hospital in London. Parts of it are over 1,000 years old. The walls remember things. You can feel it. One of the buildings was strange. It had originally been just 2 floors, with ceilings so high they echoed. Years later, they remodeled it into 5 floors. Cut the space. Changed the layout. But something didn't change with it. The night shift nurses talked about her. The ghost of a nurse. One who never left. They said she worked nights long ago. Quiet, dedicated, always on her rounds. She died on duty. No one knew how. Just that one night, she vanished. Her body was never found. And then, the sightings began. Only on the night shift. only when it was quiet. You'd feel a chill first, then a weight in the air, like someone was watching. Then you'd see her. Not her full body, just her head, floating silently down the ward. Because the floors had changed. She still walked the path she always had, but now it was through walls, through people, and at the wrong height. Just her head, gliding past, eyes staring forward. Mouth closed and her skin pale as paper. Hair pinned in the old nurse's style. No footsteps. No breath. Just a slow, steady movement. She never looked at you. But if you looked too long, they said you'd dream about her. That she'd visit you in your sleep, walking closer each time. Some nurses quit after seeing her. Others just refused to work that floor at night. I only saw her once. I don't talk about it much. But I never went back to that building after. And I never, ever worked another night shift again. Back when I was still a student nurse, I worked in a very old hospital. The kind where the halls echo weird at night and the lights flicker even when they're brand new. One of the wards was under renovation. Staff were allowed to sleep there in the finished rooms until it reopened. Seemed harmless enough. One night, I stayed there with another nurse. The ward was completely empty except for us. Quiet. Still. Too quiet. Around 2 a.m., I was half asleep when I heard a scream. It came from the bathroom. I bolted upright and ran in. My co-nurse was curled up in the corner, shaking. She couldn't speak at first, just pointed at the mirror. And then I saw it. In the glass, just above the sink, there was a figure. Shadowy. Faint. But it was there. Not one of us. The light was right above the mirror. No way it was a reflection of us. It didn't move like a reflection. It didn't belong. It stood still, watching. And then, just like that, it faded. Gone. No footsteps. No sound. Just silence. We stood there frozen. I don't know how long we waited before we finally ran out of that room. Neither of us slept again that night. The next day, I asked around. A nurse who'd worked there for years told me patients used to die in that ward, lots of them. I checked the old records, no family, some never even had a name. She said sometimes the mirrors showed things they shouldn't. Things that didn't reflect the living. I never stepped foot on that ward again after dark. And now, every time I pass a mirror in that hospital, I don't look too closely. Because I'm scared I'll see something looking back. Something that shouldn't be there.